Hey guys, I'm about to do some really curvy feathers, and I don't do the bump back because I can't travel back nicely. So I just do, like, I don't know what they call it, the old-fashioned feather or traditional or fancy, I'm not sure. Playful, I've heard people call them playful. But I mean, those are easy when, yes, you have a straight spine, for your feather. But when it curves, then it gets trickier. And so I kind of developed this technique, but I mess it up quite a bit. This one actually isn't perfect. But I'll try to explain it to you here, and then I'll try to do it in a minute. And this feather is really all upside down and everything, but I'm trying to kind of, make it straight on so you can see. Anyways, so basically, if my feather is starting down here, say like this is, where you start, and I always start at the bottom, and then my first side is the side of the direction I'm not going in. In other words, I'm going in this direction. So I don't do this side first, but I do this side. You could say the bottom side if you're starting at the bottom. But, I come in and follow the spine, of course, and come in, follow the spine, follow the spine. And then I made a small one here after this one just because I knew I was coming up to the curve, and I kind of wanted to bring this one in, and my feathers were getting too slanted, 45 degrees. So I probably had to do that just so that I could, I don't know, somehow make this one more at a perpendicular, or I would say in this case parallel to the bottom of my curve. But as I'm approaching the bottom, what I want to do is I want to make this feather right here, when it's like, an inch away from the bottom, that's the one that I want to bring in. And I could have made this one longer. I could have made it longer like this, because when you make this one longer, then it's easier to make the next one shorter than this one. So this one is shorter than this one, and it doesn't even look shorter. So I did kind of mess this up. But by making it shorter, then the next one that's right kind of in the center can meet this one that's before the short one. It can meet it. Usually it comes in this section right here, like this area. It comes and meets it. And like I was saying, this one probably should have been longer, and then this one could have met it, and then sometimes even after that one I make a small one, because I have to then curl this one to meet this one. So notice they're always meeting the other long one, where the short one's in the middle. And then once I'm done with that one, I usually can just make normal feathers. So the first step is to just, as you're getting to the curve and you start to see you only have room for one more feather, because then that's your inch that you can make the shorter one. So let's try it. I always screw up when I'm filming, and I make a lot of mistakes anyways. And this feather, I came out with the ruler, and then I came back I just did it freehand. I made this too wide, so I don't even have a real deep area here, but oh well. I do right here on the next one. So for this one, when I get to about like right here, so I might be able to make 1, 2, maybe my third feather. I'll make it kind of long. It could be like halfway of this curve, and I'll make sure that it ends like right there so that I have room to make a short one, and then my third one will curl around. So we'll see if I can do it. That's always the question. All right, here we go. So I'm going to do my bottom edge first, the bottom edge of the feather frond or whatever you call it. Okay, now you can see I made it, and I'm going to have to come back. I screwed up. I'm going to curl around here on this one, though, to fill it in. So you'll notice what I did. I wish I could get the light better. Okay. I didn't really leave enough space. I didn't leave that inch that I said I would. And so because I didn't leave that space, I screwed up in the direction I made this feather, actually. Instead of coming around like this, and then I would have been able to make the next one, I went the wrong way because I panicked. You know, I came and did this side first, and so then I had to kind of echo it, and I didn't even echo it. I messed it up totally. But then the next one I came around and I met this one with this one, but you know, it looks sloppy right in here. So we'll see if I can do better. And I'm trying not to touch the spine, but I am following it back. Okay, now this one, I gotta follow back. So I made this one long enough. I made it more than halfway. So my next one, I'm gonna do the bottom edge, come around, make it shorter than this one, so then my next one can curl around and meet the tip of this one. Let's see if I can do it. I kind of panicked right here, so it's not real pretty because I didn't follow all the way back. Remember, when I'm echoing, like right now where my needle is, I'm not going to look here. I'm going to look here to my next place, you know, where I have to pause. I'm just going to stop for a minute so oh look, I didn't even have my thread in my, I didn't see that. Oh well. Did it still stitch okay? I guess. I don't know. Probably because I'm on denim. It's so forgiving. So let's go back and see how I did on this one. So I did better. I could have filled in this gap more because I could have actually made this one a little bit longer as well. So maybe that was my mistake. Maybe I, should have brought this one kind of out to here more and filled this in. But, this was the one that had to be longer. Then this one was shorter. And then this one curled around. I see when I curled it around, I could have even filled in that space, And then this one was tricky, but as long as you don't touch the spine, you have room to work here. And remember about where your eye is. You don't want to follow the needle. You want your eye to be where you need to go next. I don't really like how I made this, but... And I think I actually did come a little too long on this. Nobody's going to notice but us, right? So, yeah, this next one was hard, this one. So after I did this one to meet, I had to come all the way back. And then I had to follow it and swoop down. Because, I didn't leave myself a whole lot of room. But notice when I came back, I started to get narrow right away. Like I started to put this edge close to this edge right away. And that's my trick to do because I don't want to have to, go way back. If you start making it narrow, then you're already narrow. You don't have to go back any farther and it won't look like a finger. It won't be wide down here. So start getting narrow a little sooner, and then after that, then this one I was really able to curl around. It was real easy to curl it around and fill in this space. I could have done a better job there as well. So let's see now how I do on this side. So what I've been doing too is I don't like to start my feathers start the feather here and make the stem. I like to make a swirl first at the bottom. So I come in and make a swirl and I come back to the spot where I want to put my ruler. I marked my ruler ahead of time and the spots, the halfway mark. I just kind of decided that I want to swirl here and this is where I want to start, but I did have to measure the width here. And so my halfway point, I don't think you can see it, is right there. And so that's where I would want my needle to be. So I'd make my swirl and I'd stop there and then I'd put the ruler on and, do the stitching. And at the end of my stitching, you'll notice I stopped. Can I go over there? Yeah. At the end, I stopped it right here at this halfway line, and then I did another swirl. And then when I came out of it, that's when I came back. But of course, I didn't do it right. So anyway, so then I come back, and then I come back to here, and then that's when I start. Do the whole feather, and then you saw me echo back, and then I would come here, echo this, and then start again. So that's what we'll do now. And I'm hoping the light is okay. Like I said, it's hard when you're working on jean material. Let's see, where do I want to make my knot? I'll just make it down here. I'll go ahead and I'll just use the, I'll use the tie, 6 ties that I'm making. They're real short. They're 20 stitches per inch, 6 ties. And I've been going forward and back on my ties. I know a lot of people just go in a straight line, but I've been going forward and back. So just like that. Okay. So let's see if I do a better job. So when I come up here, everything will be fine. When I get down here, and I used to mark it, you know, the halfway point, and I could still mark it. Just I can eyeball it, like, you know, that's, you can't really see it. That's like my halfway point. So when I come down, let's just think about this. I'm going to be coming like this, like this. So let's just say I want my long one to be something like this, and then my short one to be like that. And then I can really make a tiny one that curls around, you know. Or I can make this one even longer and, you know, I'll try it this way to where it just stops halfway, and then this short one, and then another curl that's kind of short. Looks real sloppy. And then the next one could really curl around, and I could make a short one here, you know, just make a short one so that then the next one curls as well. So, and who knows if I'll follow that by the time I get there. Here we go. I screwed up, didn't I? Yes, I did. So, and how did I screw up? I didn't fill in this spot to begin with, and so I came down there to try to fill it in. And then I screwed up this echo trying to get out because I couldn't see. So, let's see what I could have done better there. So, what could I have done better? When I made this one, I made a short one, and then I curled it around. I curled this one to meet that one, and then I did this one to meet that one. But then I did this other little short one. That's because when I made this one, I didn't want to have to come back so far. But this little short one didn't have enough room. So I think what I should have done is maybe this one was okay, but maybe it should have filled it out more. I don't know. Or maybe it should have been skinnier, so this one could have been wider. To think about that. As I'm looking at it, I think I could have made this wider and then come up and made this one curl in more to fill in this space, and then leave this one as is. And then this space would have been filled in because this would have curled over. And this little piece wouldn't even have been there. So, yeah, I mean, every time I do it, I learn something new. I think about different things. So this one seemed the best one here of the three that I did. This one wasn't bad, but this one I really messed up. Usually my last one is the best one. Well, obviously it's my worst one. So, and I think for this one, I always try to do different things to fill in the background. Sometimes I echo. I'm going to do vertical S's to fill this in. I'm going to see how I do. So I'll just start down here. And sometimes I screw those up too. They just don't look good, especially when you don't have a tall area to make an S. Then it looks bad, or you end up making a C. So I'm not sure how I want to handle that, but we'll see. All right. Okay, it's getting dark now because I'm basically using my left hand and I'm just resting my right hand on because I'm really trying hard to learn how to stitch one-handed because my left hand, I'm a lefty. Thank goodness my left hand doesn't hurt. But it's still hard to stitch one-handed, and I noticed that my right arm still tries to work and then it still hurts. So, but then I tried, putting it down here like you see them pros do, and I do need it still for like support. So I hook it on all different ways. I hook my hand on in different methods, and I don't know. Maybe somebody with arthritis or neuropathy can give me some of their tips. But here we go. This doesn't look good, but I started it, so I have to finish it. I think my curl at the top it doesn't look good. My point at the top, and it could just be, now I echoed this and I came all the way to the edge. And I used to, when I did these, like I would make some short and some long, but I'm not doing that now. It's too hard. I'm just doing curves. And I have to take a break because that hurts. Yeah, it probably would have looked better if I tried the vertical lines again. I'll try that next time. I'm going to try to just use my left hand. Look, that was a mistake. Oh well, no, it's enough. Like right here when it's long, I would make, them short and long, like the pantos are, but of course I didn't do that. I mean, it does look better here, so I don't know if I should come up here and throw that in. Okay. So, I mean, I have done them better than what you see here, the feathers, but they weren't as curvy. I used the other side of this ruler, or let's see. Yeah, I use the other side where it's not as deep, but I'm trying to get better when they're deep. Yeah, I think I did a video on this one. This was using that other part of the ruler that wasn't as deep. And, you could see, like, when I was coming in, I left about an inch. But then this one, yeah, I made it. I didn't make it shorter though than this one, but then this one curled around, and then the rest were easy. So I only had to do this like once, these three. There's one lower that I thought was better. This one I'm not crazy about. Like, I actually made this longer than the one before it. I used to say put this one at a 45 and then the shorter one, but I've been changing it up. Here's one here where, again, these are both coming out the same distance, and then this is just curled around. So this one, okay, I came out, then I made this one short, and then this one curled around to meet this one. That's the scenario I thought I liked. And then the next one curls around more. That's kind of what I was trying to mimic with the deeper feather. But you can see every time I do it, I do it different, So that one's not bad, but this one didn't curl around. It almost did. So there you go. It's, it's challenging because, if you don't have robotics, this is what you have to do. All right, well, I hope again that I've inspired someone, and if you have any tips about, coming into the dip, feel free to, comment or what have you. Okay, so now on this one, this blue jean fabric, since it's black, even though it's kind of faded, I turned the light on so you might be able to see the thread better. But I'll just take you through the process, and I'm going to do it a little different. I am going to start with my machine on the end just because it's easier. and I'm going to make my swirl here, and then I'm going to have the swirl end right where this dot is, and I'm going to draw my wave and then make my other swirl, but then I'm going to start my feather from down here. So I'll go left to right. So now my spine will only have one vein. You know, it won't be doubled up like this one, even though I kind of wanted to try that. Because I think that's what I did on that other one that I showed you, this one. I don't know though. I mean, I don't know how I was able to come out of my swirl and get way down here. Unless I came out of my swirl and then decided, okay, I need to come to here. As I come out of my swirl, then I could put this on. Although, for me to get a 1/4 inch away from the original line, okay, that would be as if I wanted to stitch the original line. So I would want to be a 1/2 inch away from the original. So I'd have to put it here. And which again would mean that when I come out of my swirl, I'd have to kind of stop it here. So I'd have to mark that. So I guess I will try that. So over here, see, because I did the other one so long ago, I can't even remember. So I'm zoomed out, and this, I don't know if I can get the whole thing in. This from the basting line to basting line measures 9 1/4. No, you can't see that. So it measures 9 1/4 about. So what I do is I want it to be 9, right? So if it's too big, all I have to do is move it down 1/8, and I can still mark 4 1/2, which is 1/2 of 9 up here. And so that's what I did with the chalk. This is the iron off pounds. It doesn't last very long, believe me. And so I did the same thing over here. And then once I did that, I put my ruler on to decide like where I want my swirl. Well, if I'm going to start on this, well, no. I wanted to start on this side, which means I'd have to do my feathers from right to left. I'm not good at that. I mean, I can do it, but I don't want to do it for the video because I'll really screw up. So if I want to do my idea, I will have to start down at the left. So I'll just have to make a knot down here. Try to hide it maybe in the seam here. So in that case, forget about this dot, unless I want to, you know, use it as my second swirl. But for this one, I figure I'll just make like 1 inch for the swirl, and then I'll line this center line up with this mark, even though it's far away. And I'll say to myself, okay, that's where I want my dot to be. So once I make my swirl, I want my needle to end here. But I have to make sure the other end is on the line. It is kind of. Okay. And so I take this away because I'm done with it. Well, I need my I'm going to need this for when I echo back. See if I can do this. Let me chalk away. And I hope you can see the stitching. If not, I'll turn the light off. So I'll just come over here and I'll make a knot. I'll use my hand dial to dial down. Try to get it right in the seam. And I'll go down, and then I'm putting both my channel locks on, needle up, and feed that through to get my bobbin thread. My bobbin thread is dark gray. And then I'll do needle down. I'll undo. I'm going to just undo my horizontal. I'll keep my vertical on, and I'll hit my tie button. For 6 ties, I'm going to go forward and back real fast. So my vertical channel lock is on. Okay, so hopefully that knotted well. And so I'll do a swirl. It's going to be a small swirl. And I'll try to end there. Take off my vertical channel lock. I always forget that. That was kind of sloppy, but oh well. And then I'll hook that in there and line it up at the other end here with the mark. I can kind of see it. And I'm going to stop right here because I'll make my second swirl. So, and remember when, I should have marked this spot because that's where my second swirl, if you recall, not my second swirl, my spine back has to end. It would have to end a 1/4 inch lower than this though, because remember I'm going to be moving this down. So let me grab my chalk, and with this up against the needle, I'll just kind of eyeball a 1/4 inch lower than that. I'm just going to eyeball it because honestly I'll put my hand under it. So a 1/4 inch down from that line, I know you could barely see it, I'm going to put a dot. So that's where my second swirl has to end so that I could start my second part of my spine. So we'll see if I can do this. I don't know. Okay, here we go. So I only go to that line, and then I have to move my hand. And remember, I'm only using my fingers, so this is hard. Sometimes I'll get my thumb in there because I just am so nervous, but I try real hard not to use it. So, and remember, I'm going to stop at this line and make a swirl. I don't know what I'm doing, but we'll see. See, I have to put my thumb in there because I'm afraid it's moving. Okay, so I'm going to stop there. I wonder if I should... No, I have to. If I want to do this whole theory with the second part of the thing, I have to stop there. Okay, so then I'll take this away, I'll make my swirl, and I'll come back to this mark. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's not quite gonna be right because it's too far over. I'm gonna come closer here. Is that okay? No, not really. And I can't move it in because then it won't be smooth. So I'm just going to wing it. But I do want to be a 1/2 inch away. Remember, from up here. So there's a 1/2 down here. There's a 1/2 up here. I'd have to pivot it. Okay. And then it looks like I'm going to end down here right on my stitch line, which is interesting. So we'll see how this goes. It's not going to be even. Oh, that wasn't good. See, it almost crossed it. So we'll come over here. Okay, I mean, it's not bad. It's better than the other one. The other one was really bad. Okay, so let's mark the centers. I'm just going to eyeball them. Not that I'm going to obey them, but I am going to try to make one at like, see, and I'm not going 45 on this one that's going to be long. And the reason it's not at a 45 is because this is a deeper feather spine, I think. I think that's why it has to be just horizontal. You know, it's really deep. So, because if you recall my other ones on that gold satin, that spine wasn't as deep, so this feather here that's supposed to be longer, or frond, feather frond that's supposed to be longer, came in at a 45-degree angle. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I do. So, as I come down, I kind of want to come down and then make a feather down here. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, these are looking bad. They were looking like fingers. Now there, I could have made a short one so that I didn't have to, right here, this could have been a short one so that I wouldn't have to, like, after I made this one, everything was good. This was a finger. I didn't dip in right. This was bad. So these two were bad. But this one was good. I like it. I like how... Okay, this one I left plenty of room. I came to the middle line. I left plenty of room for my shorter one. I didn't have to touch the spine. So I came in with my shorter one. I had plenty of room to come back. I dipped around, met this one with this one here. Came back. And then I was able to swoop this one around to meet this one. Okay, but after this one, I should have made another short one because it wouldn't have had to, like, I wouldn't have had to make this one. It's hard to do this when they're not, you know, the backtrack feathers. So I could have made this one short, and then, you know, it would have just been a nice short little following of the spine. And then I could have come back and curled around and really filled this in with the next one. So I'll try that on the next one, but we'll see. You never know. Okay. So that's the short one that I was talking about. This one I messed up because I didn't backtrack it. I didn't get narrower right here. I hit there so it doesn't look good. You know, I should have came in more, slanted it in more. I could have slanted it and stopped right here, you know, because once you slant in and it looks like a point here, you're fine. But that is better, I think, because I'm able to then fill in these gaps. So this one met the middle, so I'm meeting the middle now. This one, I guess, was okay. I could have came back a little bit farther. This one is really small, but it met this one. I didn't have to backtrack too far. It still looked pointy down here. And then this one was able to swoop around and meet this one. And come back. And then here's the short one. See, I only had to go back just this short distance. And then follow just this short distance out of it. That's so much easier than having to go such a long distance like I did over here. So, but again, I screwed this one up by not. But then I was able to bring them all to this center line. So when I do my echoes, I just have to stop here and come out. I don't have to go in here anymore because that's a heavy quarter in there. So it's getting there. Who knows how I'll do this one. We'll see. Now when I come around, I have to think about this because if I want to do straight lines, I don't know if I want to bring the feathers all the way around or not. Sometimes they look so cute when you leave them bald up here. So I don't know how far I want to go. And I'm going to try the straight lines on the background. So if I'm trying the straight lines, it probably doesn't matter how close I come to the edge, but I'll just wing it. Okay, so kind of messed that up, but oh well. I'm just going to cut this. Okay, so let's see how I do here. Oh, I messed up my echo over here. Darn it. In here, but oh well, it's just practice. Okay, that was a mistake because this one didn't curl around enough, which left me no room to make a small feather frond right here. So this one should have curled in more, and then who knows, maybe I wouldn't have needed that one. I don't know. But I seem to make this mistake a lot, because I made it on the last one I did. But oh well. And notice how I'm getting too close. I'm not dipping in. I'm not curving in to make a point. And these don't look like feather fronds. Neither does that one. So I'm too wide in through here. So at this point, I have to decide if I want to make another feather or if I want to use this space to echo. But I'm going to make one more, maybe, but not big. And then I'll hook in and maybe echo. I don't know. Look. See, my eye wasn't where it was supposed to be. And if your eye is where it's supposed to be when you do these echoes, then like say if my needle's here, my eye is here, then as I get there, I can slow down ever so slightly. My brain will say, okay, slow down, so that I don't overshoot it and make funny points. You know, I don't know where I'm going to go after this. So I'll just start here. And I'll just use their tie. Okay. So I'm going to make a swirl, maybe a pretty S swirl, or I don't know what to do. Try to make my way back up here. I should have filled that in over there, but I didn't. Look. And I don't know what to do with this. If I should just start at this end and maybe make another horizontal line and just catch that all and stop there. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that. I'll come over here and I'll make it so it's like the back of my ruler is the back of this line. I'll just put my horizontal channel lock on for a minute so I can make a tie on here. I'll use my tie. Okay, but I'm going to take it off because I'm going to have to use the ruler to, I'm going to try and push it up. And just if I'm making a pleat, oh well, it'll be up there. So I'm going to push it up and I'm going to put this part of the ruler on this line here, this top stitch line. We'll just do it that way. Good enough. And so then over here, I don't know where I'm going to end up. Try and push that up there. But that feels good with my hand up. And so my knuckles are on the ruler and I don't really have to use my thumb. Okay, what the heck am I gonna do now? Maybe I'll come down to that point. So I want to be a 1/4 inch away from that point. Sometimes my other ruler is easier, my other little gauge. So I could put it flatter and be a 1/4 inch away from that point. So you want it to be kind of perpendicular. It does seem a little far. Because you want this to be, you know, you don't want it to be slanted. You want it to be perpendicular to this point on the ruler, if you can imagine that, on a curve. It's kind of called a tangent in math. So let's see if I can get that. It seems like it's too far away from the point, but I don't know. I'm gonna try. It's all messed up. With the same ruler, kind of. So I line this up with this, even though it doesn't really look right. But it's probably going to hit this line. But let's see. And I have to stop right about there. Let's just see. Oh, I could have come a little bit more. That looks horrible. I'm going to have to, this curve here I should have gotten rid of, but oh well. So then I can just freehand the rest, I think. So if I come here, well, I don't know what that was. Stupid, whatever it was. Oh well, I messed up. Really messing up. Yeah, I really messed that up there, else it wouldn't have been too bad. But I mean, if I take out this curve, I might mess up these stitches, but maybe not. But then I'd have a hole here and I'd have to make another knot. So I'm just gonna leave it. But yep. So there it is with all the echoes. There we go. So I don't know which one looks better. I mean, obviously the echoes, I did a better job with most of the echo. And then here's the one with the, you can't really see it that well. The S's, it's not bad. Let's see if I can turn this light off. You can kind of see it. This is that design that I've pretty much perfected. But it did skip a stitch because this is fake leather. And I don't even have real batting under it. But I think I did a video on this one. So I'm doing better on this. This is the one where I come in high and then go midway and then go high again, and I'm supposed to go to the inside to curl out like this one. I came to the inside, and then when I come down, I go down, you know, a little far, but then when I make this curl, I leave a space here for when I come back. So I come here, and then I fill most of this bottom space. And again, I was supposed to curl in, come in to travel back out, and then fill in this space with this line. And then this one was supposed to come down low to fill in this space. So the whole goal of this was to make sure I have enough space here for these lines so that they're not on top of each other, but they do cross at some point to look ribbony. And then I have enough space here. So that's why I come in high, but then go midway, kind of halfway for this one. So on this one, then again, high, mid, curl in, then go inside and cross, and then come kind of mid, come in, go to the inside and cross, and then fill in this space and cross and go down. So that one was correct. And this one too is correct. And so is this one well, no, because I didn't come down low enough. But so that's the one that I've been working on for borders or sashing. It's really pretty even when you don't do it right, you know. It's forgiving. So there you go. I don't know how much I've helped anybody, but you know, we're all a work in progress, it seems. So keep trying and getting better, or if you got lots of money, go and get robotics. That's what I wish I had. But because I'm a digitizer, I'm an embroidery digitizer, so robotics it's just killing me not to have it on the long arm. Can't get the lighting right. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.